Hopefully everyone, I guess I should introduce myself now that we're being recorded. My name is Dr. Jim Lanny, and I'm the CEO of Qualitative, one of the many tools that we have to kind of expedite the research process. We have Intellectus Literature Review that is out, Intellectus Statistics, and we also have a discussion section or chapter for the quant and one for the qual will be coming soon enough. Well, maybe not soon enough for you if you're in the middle of it, but in the next month or two. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get a show of hands here. How many folks are actually working on that qualitative study now? How many are planning on it?
And you can just enter that in the chat too, if you want.
Good afternoon. So people were asking about recordings. Yes, this is being recorded, and everyone will get a copy of the recording. Okay, so thoughts about well, if you're a student or faculty, that's one kind of drill down, and then also if you're starting your qualitative study or you're kind of working on it. Vanessa working on coding and data presentation. Great. I would love to. Vanessa, so you can, everyone has a trial of Intellectus Qualitative. You can either upload it when we're doing that, or if you want to shoot it to me. Melissa, if you put my email address.
Yeah, I believe Vanessa's already shared her project.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. Well, make sure you're sharing it again because I went and cleaned up, not knowing. So share it. If you wouldn't mind sharing it again, just making sure it's shared again. And we'll get there. Begin my qualitative study. Great. How about other folks? What are you guys doing? Okay, beginning data collection is complete. Good job, Ari. That's you got to get that going. So it's good that it's done. And hopefully, for folks that do have data, Ari and Vanessa, hopefully this will be really helpful to you. So I'll try to kind of get through the slides pretty quickly. There's only a few of them, and then get to the tool and see what we can do there. All right. Okie dokie. So, and Jennifer just beginning. Okay, great. So let's get to what we have here. So one of the things when we're using an AI tool to assist in the excerpting, coding, and thematizing, what underlies that, the premise is that the data is in there, right? Natural assumption. What I want to highlight with this slide is that there's different ways of getting that interviews in there. One traditional way is I have 10 participants, I have 10 interviews, and I upload each of the 10 interviews. So when they excerpt it, I know it's interviewee number 1 or interviewee number 5. Okay. That's the traditional how it goes, and that can be okay. You might also break down a particular interview by the interviewer questions. Okay. So maybe the first half is talking about, the school environment or the structure. Maybe the next part is around the teachers. Another part is about resources. So consider breaking those up either by research question or by interviewer question. So just to know that you don't necessarily have to just put them in lockstep. Okay, there's many ways of doing that. Okay. This is a slide that just really kind of talks about some of the tasks at hand, some of the problems of doing a thematic analysis, and generally speaking, I am talking about phenomenological or thematic analysis. And the problems are excerpting, coding, thematizing, tying those themes to the research questions, and perhaps integrated reliability. You can see the facilitating role of AI is helping with all of these things, okay? So they're, excerpting and they're combining those excerpts and they're suggesting codes and themes and so forth, all right? Your task as the student or faculty or researcher is that you need to edit all of that, okay? These are, you are now in a role of course, you can excerpt, code, and thematize manually. Fantastic, okay? But there's also a sense that with AI and with some of that output there, that you really need to be the critical evaluator and the editor and the overseer. So those are some of the questions that come to mind about, are these codes valid? Do these themes make sense? Okay, so you really have to do your part and perhaps shift your role a bit from purely the producer of information to the evaluator of information and perhaps the producer, but the evaluator of it, and then adding, omitting, and so forth. Okay, so it's you and AI peacefully coexisting to have an outcome of representative excerpts and themes and codes, okay, and so forth. And as you can see in the very last column, that there's a vast amount of time saving to be had. So your higher level thinking skills are absolutely required. Even with that, you'll be saving time. I, lament 30 years later, not really lament, but a little bit, that, to thematize and to code 3 16-week transcripts really took a full year. Okay. So the advent of AI really is here to support you in your process. So there's a couple of modes. There's an inductive mode and there's a deductive mode, but let me just for the moment just talk about what a typical best practice scenario might well be for an inductive thematic analysis. So you would, of course, upload your data. A video can be transcribed for 20 cents a minute, 25 cents a minute. You absolutely have to have you have to be the expert on those interviews. Even if you've conducted them, how are you going to know if a code is good or not unless you really have a knowledge of the topic and of the interviews? So the tool can generate codes, okay? You'll have to go in there and does the code name make sense? Does the code description make sense? Do the excerpts that support it make sense? That refining process, it's more than refining. It's really thinking deeply about them is closer to the point. We then move on to the thematic analysis. It will decide, AI will decide how many themes represent those codes, and then naming and describing those themes. And again, I put down refine, but it's really a deep consideration of these things. I mean, those themes are going to be the content of your results and really the content of your whole analysis. We also have another piece, which is tying the themes to the research questions. I typically suggest that we tie all of the themes to each research question and then have you as the student researcher or faculty decide which themes go best with which research questions. Okay? So, but we give you some thoughts about that. There's a consideration of that, and then there's a download of that. I mentioned inter-rater reliability. A lot of people don't do it. I think it's a best practice, and perhaps I can make that case going forward where more people are doing that. Okay, so I think we're just in the time to get logged in. And you can log in at this my.intellectus360.com /login/qualitative-workshop. And I invite you all to get logged in. I mean, even if you're just watching that, it get your feet wet in this thing. Follow along. There's the samples there that you can follow along with. Just to see the ease of it, or upload, even better, upload your own transcripts. Again, I didn't get a tremendous response of folks that have done stuff, but so there's examples that I can show you. And we'll get there in a minute. Okay, so let's see what we have here. And I should have mentioned Melissa and Samantha are ready at hand to help with any questions with logging in or anything else to be had. So I'm going to go through for those that are following along and are able to click into that website. You're going to start here. It's web-based, as are all the tools. There's no downloading of stuff. There's no refreshing or updating things of this sort. Okay. So first thing you want to do is create a project. And for those starting a project, you could just name a project, okay? So webinar, okay, 8814. Okay. The purpose statement isn't critical at the moment. Research questions are. So you want to be clicking research questions and adding in the research questions. When we have a process of tying themes to research questions, obviously we need to know what the research questions are. So that's the place to do it. And then you can go to create project. And then at this point, you can now start uploading text files, uploading audio or video, or just pasting in a transcript. Okay. So that's part of the process. Let me go back and do the example. So going back to home, basically, create project, and then I'm going to use a sample project. And I'll just pick one of these, okay? We'll just grab the transcripts only. And so in this example, there's, 4 interviews, okay? Couple talking about anxiety, couple talking about depression. So once the data, and you can add additional transcripts, okay, or additional audio, video. All right. So once we have that, our first task is to excerpt important passages, combine those together, and then generate a code name and description. That all happens under the AI tools under inductive coding. So identify codes and excerpts. If you already have codes, you can just go ahead and find excerpts via the deductive coding method. Okay, but at the moment we have no codes, so I'm going to click inductive coding. It does take a few minutes to actually chew through this. It's not linear in terms of if you have a 500-page transcript, it's probably going to take about the same time. So it's not this takes 3 minutes and the 500-page thing is going to take that much longer. So okay, so in this process, in these 4 transcripts, it's identified 27 codes, and within those codes, there's 59 excerpts. And I'm just going to go, there's a refining process, but I'm going to kind of jump to the apply to the project. And here you can kind of see, which passages were excerpted. Okay. All right. The next step would be to then go ahead and say, out of all of those codes, how many themes are there? So that is under the AI tools, under AI assisted thematic analysis, and it's identified 11. I have a preference of not having 11 and not having 15 or 20, goes up to 20. I like a manageable number. So just to know that you can update that, here, okay? And we can have conversations about that. But I'd like to have a number that I can hold in my head and that other readers can also hold in their head. So here it's rejigged it for 9 themes, and you can see the themes here. Apply to project. So here, from my PowerPoint that I was calling refinement, but I'm kind of adapting to more of a deeper dive, you can kind of see these are the themes with that icon there, and these are the codes with those icons there. and ditto. And by the way, so that theme has got one code. This other theme, this next theme has these different codes here. And you can go into that when I want you to do the deep dive, you can go into the three dots and go into details. And here you can see a description of the theme, treatment pathways and experiences. You can see a description of that theme, exploration of diverse approaches to mental health treatment, including therapy and medications, with a focus on perceived effectiveness, limitations, and a complex journey of managing depression and anxiety through professional interventions. Okay. You may very well want to edit those, okay? Here you can see the three codes that were involved with that theme, and then here are the excerpts. Okay. So go through those. I would suggest cleaning those up. Like I may not want, if I go into this one, for example, this is both from interviewee depression too, so I might not want that. One quick way to look at this is to go to the insights document. And I really like the bar chart. And here, for the themes, I can see that here are the themes on the y-axis. The number of excerpts are on the x-axis. The interviewees are over here. And you can see that first theme has got, for 4 interviews, great representation. All 4 folks contributed to that theme, and multiple examples or excerpts. This individual contributed 3 excerpts. This individual 1, this individual 3, and so forth. So to me, that's a pretty good gosh darn theme. This, not so much. I mean, look at it, read it, but I have 1 person with 2 excerpts. That's different than 4 people with 10 excerpts. So I might want to delete that. And I would go back to transcripts and go into the 3 dots, hit delete, the theme and any sub-themes. So I really want to pay attention under insights, under the bar chart, okay? And to me, I mean, you could drill in by the codes, but to me, the themes are the kind of where we're going. So that's one step. The next step, and by the way, this is not print pretty. People want to print it. I mean, I'll show you what it looks like, but I just use it to kind of figure out which themes I'm going to keep or not, okay? All right. The next thing I do is really go to the research question rationale. Here, I'm tying, here's my first research question. Do individuals describe the impact of anxiety and depression on their daily lives, including work? How do they describe the impact of anxiety and depression on their daily lives, work, relationships, and personal? Kind of covers it all. So what, I mean, you can have AI suggest which ones go together, but my advice is to tie them all together, okay, and submit. And what you will wind up with, short order, is the research question, okay, and then each theme, and then this is not the description of the theme. This is the rationale for why that theme should go with that research question. This theme directly addresses the research question named, okay, by illuminating how anxiety and depression manifest in participants' daily functioning and so forth. So this is, you want to pick the, the themes that go with each research question. I don't want every theme on every research question. Presumably the research questions are distinct. Presumably the themes are distinct to some extent, and you want to kind of make them unique to the research question. So let me just do one other thing and then I'll reiterate what I just said. We also want the theme description. So here's the first theme. Again, at the moment, we're going to change this, but at the moment, I like to select all the excerpts and then let you figure out which ones work best. And here, we have the theme description of anxiety experience and impact on social functioning. Okay. And then here's a description of that theme, the excerpts involved, excuse me, the codes involved, and then the supporting excerpts. And I would invite you to select perhaps 5 of them that are really representative of that theme, and ideally from different folks. Okay, so if I had a choice, I would not be using participant anxiety 1 here and participant anxiety 1 here. I probably want a diversity of people contributing. Just say one other quick thing, that how I would like, so after you go through the vetting of the codes and themes and excerpts, and you do a research question theme rationale, and you do a deep dive into each theme, that's going to give you the content to start putting together this results chapter. And it should be something like this. It should be basically your research question, okay? The theme or themes that go with that research question, a description of that theme, that's his business, okay? Then the rationale, here's a research question, here's a theme, and here's why they tie together, okay? And then the supporting excerpts. So to me, that's a heck of a good draft of a qualitative results. So let me see if there's any questions before I go to any. Are there any questions about this before I dig into folks' projects?
I haven't had any yet, but feel free if you have questions, put them in the Q&A
Okay,
and we'll answer them.
fine. All right, and then all right, so folks have sent stuff over. Okay, so if you would just raise your hand. Again, I cleaned up, so I may have inadvertently deleted them. So you may have to go and transfer them or share with them, better yet.
Yeah, so if you shared a project, just raise your hand and we'll unmute you and we'll make sure it got shared.
All right. So I see Nakia. All right, and maybe unmute Nakia.
I have Vanessa here,
Okay.
but Nikia we'll go to next.
Okay, that's fine. So hi, Vanessa, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dr. Lanny. Thank you so much for this
Good.
presentation, because you just described the step-by-step that I need at this point to
Oh, good.
write this up.
Good. That's the goal of it. So terrific. Yeah, I mean, I think there's, if you came back, well, so yeah, this is my take on thematic analysis. There is, if you come back in 2 months, but hopefully you won't, that there'll be a discussion that goes with this. Okay. But where have you, so you've collected all your data?
Yes, I did. I have actually done everything that you just presented.
Yeah.
And I just need to really make sure that I'm drilling down appropriately from the research question rationale point, and then working with the AI suggestions, and even making sure that some of the themes, like based on the number of excerpts, that I get rid of those. Like I have one in my project that I know fits what you said. So then it's the drill down process, basically, from insights, looking at the bar chart and all that. That's the point at which I am.
Okay, so did you use Intellectus Qualitative?
Yes,
Perfect. Can you share that project with me?
I did. I sent an invite just before the.
I know, but I may have, as I cleaned
Oh,
up,
okay.
I may have inadvertently, if you wouldn't mind sharing that again.
Okay, let me.
I think this is 8-8.
Go
Oh,
back.
no, this is in 8:14.
Okay,
Okay, this is not you over here. So if you wouldn't mind resharing that, and
sure.
then I'll just refresh and kind of peek at what you have.
Teams.
By the way, did you get the tool through your school? You found it independently, or how did you come across us?
I did not get it through the school. My mentor told me that several students are using it and liked it.
Nice.
And um so
So here we are.
yes. Okay, I just
All right.
sent the invite.
Okay.
That's it. I see it.
This you right here?
It's number 6, I think.
Faculty
Faculty
mentoring?
mentoring.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
happy to hear that we're being talked about at Capella. So that's good.
Yes.
All right. So here is the questions. Okay.
And so what I did, he gave us the option of doing one question and then all the excerpts.
Say that again, please.
Like having one question and then all the answers of that question.
One interview question. Okay.
Yes.
Let me just get that in my brain. So this here is by question.
Uh-huh. So the question was what additional training do you feel nurse educators need to mentor? Yeah, to
I
provide
say,
mentoring support.
my first response is I wouldn't have done it like this. I think I would have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I would have done 7 different projects.
Okay.
And I would have had that first project based on this question, okay? And then I keep all the interviewees separate, okay?
Okay.
So just divide this up. How many interviewees did you have?
I had 13.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of manual work, but I would have 13 times 7, 120. You know, I would have, I would have 91 different files.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and
Okay.
then participant 1, question 1, participant 2, question 1, participant 3. The advantage of that is, or I guess at this point of the game. So that's my first thought.
Okay.
I have one project dealing with question 1, interview question 1, maybe put in a research question, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of those codes deal only with question 1. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All the next project only deal with 13 people question number 2. All right. And I know I have a very confined, it goes back to the very first slide I had, which was the way that we divvy them up. Now, this is a unique way. Okay. So, but I think you can quickly, so the problem with this mode is, in my opinion, is which of these, well, I guess you would have it by, let me get the details here.
Because when I looked at the details and the codes that came out,
Yeah.
they were accurate. I don't know if they would
Oh,
be
okay.
more
Well,
accurate.
listen, if you're cool with this, I'm cool with this. Let's see what we got going on here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go insights.
And I just have the one research question.
Fine. So, as I mentioned earlier, I may dump those two.
Yes, yes, that was the one that got my attention when you said that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one thing. And now, did these themes map onto different research questions, different interview questions for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that would be an important thing. So if that's working, hunky dory, not going to fix what is not broke.
Okay.
So you were directed to do it. Your themes align with your interview questions.
Yes.
Hunky dory. Um,
Great.
and then let me go back. So and I'll get to your question in a second. So the rationale for
Mm-hmm.
the research question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would tie, so you're tying all, so this is what I would do as well. which is tying each of the themes there, okay?
Okay,
Then you want to do a deep dive of each theme, okay?
okay, yes.
Which is the theme description. And for
Mhm.
each theme, and as I say, right now, I'm going to check all of those excerpts.
Mhm.
And when I have that theme, faculty efforts to develop awareness of cultural differences, understand diverse perspectives, and actively integrate cultural elements into teaching. Okay, I would, again, only select maybe 5, okay?
Okay, yes,
Representative
okay,
excerpts, and you may want to tighten them up a little bit. Or
yes,
underline the particular, maybe keep the whole passage, but underline the specific part that really hits the heart of,
okay,
so that makes for a nice thing, you know?
okay. Ooh.
Fine. Dump the 1 or 2 themes that have very few participation.
Uh-huh,
Tighten up all the excerpts related to it. Research
okay,
question, theme 1, theme description, make sure you edit, and then theme rationale from above, and then then the excerpts. That's the plot of the results.
okay, okay, good.
All right, other questions you have for me at the moment?
No, that, listening to, I understand as you described it, and then you just reiterated that I got it.
Perfect.
Thank you
Well,
so
the
much.
very best to you, Vanessa.
Thank
And
you, thank
please
you.
do share it with other, if you have other sources to share it with. I don't know how well you're on with colleagues and other folks, but do tell
I
them.
am.
Yeah, the
I do
two.
have another friend at another university where the university provided intellectus, so it is really catching on.
Listen, from your mouth to God's ears. This is these are tools that can really move people through their research process.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much,
you.
and yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you, Professor. And maybe Melissa maybe follow up with Vanessa to thank the professor even. Okay. So, all right. So then we had who's up next?
Nakia had her question answered. She just had a quick question about consulting, but there's a question in the chat from Brian.
Okay. So
Please.
just to linger there for a second. So once you're on here, you can click consulting, and there's like a free 15-minute of just to kind of understand a little bit of where you are, and then figure out how to kind of get this. Now we've made it, okay, where folks like Vanessa kind of get it perfect. That's the role, that's the goal. But if some people want other hand holding through the process, happy to do that. Okay. Okay, so question. Okay, is it possible to demonstrate intercoder reliability with this program? It is. So, where do I start with that? So let's get out of Vanessa's thing, okay? And I'm gonna go and leave project, so leave her alone. Okay. So, let me see what I'm going here. So here I have two transcripts and a bunch of codes and excerpts. Okay. And to assess integrated reliability, you just go, where was I exactly? I think I was under the qual example. You just go to these 3 dots here and go to reliability tool. And then you can put in your folks that you want to assist in the rating process. So that's step 1. And let me see if I can do this here. I wonder if I can do this. We're gonna find out. Okay, so then when I go to my email, and by the way, a lot of folks do not do this. You know, I'm like a trained monkey. I was trained like that to do it, and so all right. So let me see if the oopsie. Let me see if I can find the. Mine takes a sec. My email's a little bit slow. Okay. So you'll get the folks will get a email, and then they'll have some instructions. This is too large. I can start the survey. And what happens is that we have each of the excerpts, and there's a lot of excerpts, 69. Some people have 369, so you want to whittle those down. And you only want excerpts that are really representative of the theme, to the extent that you could do this task in a pretty reliable fashion, which is, hey, gosh, in reading that excerpt, okay, and having a very descriptive theme name, okay, I can tie that excerpt to a particular theme. And you're going to go through each excerpt, tying to particular themes, and you're just going to do that matching task. One rater will do that matching task, another rater will do that matching task. At the end of the day, what you'll wind up with is a they call them kappa coefficients, and you'll have inter-rater reliability coefficients between the raters on each theme to say whether or not they agreed or disagreed that that excerpt should go with that theme. So, and then you'll have that for each of the themes overall. You could have 5 raters, and then for each pair of raters. Okay. All right. So essentially, the idea behind all of this is, I found themes, I found excerpts, but who's to say that that can be reliably identified by other folks? The process of inter-rater reliability validates or invalidates that process, my theme and my excerpts. And those novice raters are going to go through that matching task. There'll be a calculation of the amount of agreement or non-agreement for each excerpt and theme, and then some ratings for each theme and some overall. And then here's the qualitative assessment with that. So if you have 0.81 and above, it's almost perfect. One would be perfect actually, but almost perfect reliability. And you can do lots of messing around with that, by the way, when you have lots of different folks. So having those pairs of raters is important. Okay. The questions here, let me see. All right. Other questions, please.
Yeah, there's if they're in the chat, sometimes you have to scroll back up because there's a lot going on in there. But we had one from Brian about the analysis outputs for qual and quant, and will they be flagged as AI, and how different this is from chat.
And I'm sorry, it's qual and quant is the question?
Yeah, about the output for qual and quant.
So let's talk about the one we have in front of us. So for the qualitative, so the short answer is going to be yes. The theme names, the theme names and the theme description, that's AI generated. So to the extent that Chat Zero or something picks up AI writing, like similar length sentences or things of that sort, yes, you would. That's going to make you edit. Okay, that's the important part. So you're not taking this output and saying, "Here's my results." You get into it. So, so yes is the answer. Yes, it will get flagged. The name probably doesn't get flagged. The excerpts are the excerpts. So we're just talking about primarily the descriptions of these themes. Okay, or the rationales. Okay. So that's one piece. And you should want to do that, by the way. You want to be able to have command over what's being presented for your study or for your journal article. Okay, how does it differ than chat? Well, it differs from chat in that chat is not taking in all, I mean, we could take unlimited number of transcripts, and you're kind of looking for those excerpts and codes and themes among the whole group of that. Chat's not going to do that. So it's the comprehensiveness, one thing. We have very, very curated prompts to get what we want out of that. Okay. So I think you'll find for your, for your $59 investment, kind of modest, okay, to have a kind of streamlined approach without the back and forth of a chat and the comprehensiveness. So I'd say that. With regard to the quantitative and discussion section, if I go to winter, so here I have a quantitative tool, also $59 or $80 or some darn thing. And here I did a descriptives and a mediation analysis. Here's a discussion of the results or discussion draft. You'll have that in the qualitative soon enough, or soon. So this is also written by AI. A lot of the intellectual thoughts here are fantastic. Okay, I mean it's it's looking at billions of parameters. So these are very, very important, and this is the beauty of AI, that you have a lot of intellectual thought. Two parts to this. One is, just like the descriptions, you have to really edit these things. You have to evaluate these things. Does that make sense for me? Okay. What you know of self-determination theory, okay? I mean, you have to really look at this stuff. So that's one piece of it. You must edit it. That will get picked up as and flagged, okay? The other part of it is that at the moment, about 5 to 15% of these things are hallucinated. So you have to double check all of those. I can double check these things in 15 minutes. To get that draft, 10 to 20 hours. I mean, it's just, it's a wonderful scaffolding of what a discussion section should be like, okay? In our opinion. So you may have other requirements. So edit the heck out of it, evaluate it, be a critical thinker, like, does this make sense? What do I need to add to it? What do I need to omit from it? And so forth. Okay. So I hope that answers the question. Other questions?
All right. Noah wanted to know if you could go over how to write up the qualitative results again. Maybe go back to the insights and show that.
Yeah.
And if you have questions and you prefer not to use the chat or Q&A, you can also raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
So this is not perfect for me, okay? We're gonna the results are going to, excuse me, the discussion will clean up a lot of the dissatisfaction is too strong. It's not organized how I would organize it. So I would just say this isn't really done. So how I would organize it would be the following. I would have my research question. I really need a slide on this. I would have the research question, and I won't pain you with watching me type. So I would have the research question. Then I would have, after looking at the themes, which theme or themes go with that research question. Okay, so let's just say theme 1. I would have a description of theme 1. I would have the rationale for why that theme goes with that research question. And then I would have the supporting excerpts. Then I might say, guess what? Theme 5 also, okay, went with research question 1. I would describe theme 5. I would describe, edit, the rationale for why theme 5 goes with the research question and supporting excerpts. So the basic process is research question, theme description, theme rationale, supporting excerpts. Next theme. Melissa, you can probably type this faster than I could type, just research question, theme description, theme rationale, supporting excerpts. The next theme, wash, rinse, repeat. Theme, description, rationale, excerpts. Then go to the next research question if you're all finished with themes. Research question 2. Theme, description, rationale, excerpts. That's the process. Okay. I already ran AI tools. Okay. I need to do inductive and deductive analysis. That's okay. Since they appear to be two different processes, yes, they are. How does the software combine them in the output? I don't think it's separating out. I mean, I guess you could tag these things. I think what I would do is, Jamil, so what I would do myself is I would go to the, I would perhaps just do a inductive analysis. Let the AI grab my codes. Okay. Then I would, then I'd want to go to the code book up here. I appreciate the question. I'd go to the code book and export that. And in that code book, what I would only care about is the codes, okay? So I wouldn't care about the parent themes. I'll make this bigger, sorry. So I would, and I wouldn't care about the themes. Delete. So I would have these codes, these 8 codes, 7 codes. I would save that. I would do another project and call it deductive. I would upload the transcripts again. I would upload this or import this. Okay. And then go ahead and then run deductive. So presumably you're not going to find much differences. I mean, if you're running deductive on your codes, great. And then doing inductive using AI, then I think that you have some kind of a fruitful kind of synergy about human and AI codes and excerpts. I think that would be worthwhile. But I think if you, and you can use that template, by the way, from the 3 dots, export, and then use that template, which is basically name, description, and type. Okay. And if you have your own names, terrific. Okay. So that's how I would do it. And then I would compare my deductive project with my inductive project. That's how I would do it. Other questions? Other questions? You're welcome. I am curious, how did, there's a lot of folks on here. How did you all hear about this? Did you all hear about it from your faculty member or through searching, or how did you guys come up with this? Be curious, put that into the Q&A or email Melissa. Maybe that's a good time to do that. So let me just let me from the current slide. So let me just put this out to you. For faculty on the excuse me, for students who are wanting some support, you can contact Samantha at samantha@statisticsolutions.com. Faculty training, faculty demos, faculty quotes, faculty trials. Okay, contact Ashley at intellectus360.com. Melissa for any or all other questions. Some of the website addresses, including the lit review. We haven't really talked about that, but that's a winner. If you haven't done it, or if you have students that are going to be doing lit reviews, winner. And then if you want a free, 15-minute consult with me, you can click on that QR code and connect with me. Other final thoughts, questions? I appreciate everyone's attention and everyone's hanging in there for the whole hour. And again, feel free to email any one of us or connect with us, okay? Okay, great. Okay. L. Penger, looking at other tools, but it feels looks more user-friendly. We intend these things to be user-friendly. So in all of our DNA for our tools, we look to make it friendly to use, as Vanessa did. All right. Well, with that being said, I'll wish everyone a good rest of the week and thanks for joining. You'll get the recording and then you'll get a link to other upcoming webinars. Anyway, I just wish you all well. So take care now.